Hey everybody, welcome back to Invest In. My name's Logan. Today we're going to be picking up where we left off with our Tesla Model Y demo drive and purchase process. One of the things that I wanted to highlight in a quick video here, pretty informally, but comparison between the 5-seat configuration Model Y and the 7-seat configuration Model Y. This is something that, honestly, for our family, was a bit of a discussion topic. Right now, we were not sure. We were not sure how much space would be sacrificed for the 6th and 7th seat. We were not sure really what the advantage was to get it, to not get it. Obviously, there's a cost associated with it. So let's break down some of those details. So ultimately, when we were looking at choosing between the 5 or 7 seat configuration Model Y, one of the first factors was the price. And obviously, there is a cost associated with doing this. If we chose to bite the bullet and add that 7th seat configuration, it actually opened up for us the ability to unlock a paint color essentially for free. And this might be a little bit confusing. It was to me until we ended up talking about it in detail with the representative, but basically to change from the default gray paint to the blue paint color that we wanted is $1,000. However, if we have that option selected, going from the 5-seat to the 7-seat configuration is no longer $2,000 in price, but instead it drops to $1,000 extra in price. So if we chose no paint, just keep the default paint, it would be $2,000 extra to go from a 5-seat Model Y to a 7-seat Model Y. $2,000 extra. But if we made that choice to go and we also chose the paint color, the total is $1,000 each for paint and for 7th seat. So realistically, it's the same $2,000 out the door, even if you don't change the paint. So you can do Model Y 7-seat configuration for $2,000, default paint. But if you wanted to change the paint, it basically adds that on for free. It assigns the value of $1,000 for the paint and $1,000 for the 6th and 7th seat. So that alone was nice because we did like the blue paint upgrade and we ended up going with that. The other decision-making factor that was a big deal breaker for us is how much actual room would we be sacrificing? And to answer this question, I wanted to go to the dealership and I wanted to see a 5-seat and see a 7-seat right next to each other and compare them. That's exactly what we ended up doing. So, as you can see from the video here, the 5-seat configuration Model Y does have the same deep well storage that the 7-seat does. It has the same, base trunk space storage that the Model Y 7-seat does. So the only thing that you're gaining or losing in terms of storage space is the actual literal dimensions of the seats, really. There's a little bit more nuance behind the scenes, the dual motor setup and the space that takes up, but realistically, all you're looking at in terms of difference for storage is about maybe 5 inches deep by the width of the 2 back seats, the width of the trunk, 3 feet or whatever that actual dimension is. It's basically the visual equivalent, if you're a visual person, of 2 laptop bags or 2, large purses laid out side by side. You could put 2 briefcases in that space. So realistically, knowing that there wasn't that much storage space to be gained, because realistically, what are you going to put in that tiny little space? A little bit of mechanical, maybe an emergency road kit or something. It's not a terribly functional bit of space. So at the end of the day, it comes down to how much is it worth to you to have that upgraded feature, to have the 7 seats as an option or not. And no, they're not incredibly spacious by any means. I'm a bigger guy, and I was able to sit back there, but it was pretty crammed. It was pretty crowded for me. If there was somebody sitting next to me, well, that person better be a kid, or they're gonna get squished. So in our case, it maybe did make sense, even if it wasn't going to be used every single day, which it won't, but it may be used sometimes. If it makes the difference between taking one car to an event or taking 2 cars to an event, that may be a convenience that I could see using the 7th seat for. Similarly with kids, if you've got 2 kids, 1 in each section of the car, that could be another very possible or practical use. A separate space for dogs or suitcases besides the back. With the seats folding completely flat, you're able to leverage all the trunk space essentially without sacrificing really that much. Also, in terms of access to the back seats, no, there's obviously not a third door to get to the back seats, but instead the driver's seat and then the rear seat behind the driver's seat will shift forward and tip forward. So not only does it provide more space, but it also opens itself up so that somebody could more easily swing themselves behind that back seat to get to the third row of seats. So hopefully this video answered some questions specifically about those features and maybe what is or isn't included. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'd be glad to answer based on my experience. Otherwise, we would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel. We've got more Tesla content coming. We've got more content coming on other topics, short-term rentals, other personal investment. We'd love it if you'd join the community, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.